Hello everyone, and welcome back to another little video. Today I thought I'd do something different. I did want to come out a little bit earlier due to the weather, other things happened during the day. I didn't have time to do it, but as you see from the title, this one is about knife safety and teaching knives to kids for the first time. So what I do quite a lot, I go to a lot of primary schools and actually teach them some basic knife skills sort of on here. And the biggest problem we get from actually doing some knife skills with kids is they're scared of the blades itself. So this is this video today is all about just looking at what you can do to help aid these kids in learning these knives safely. So the first thing we need to do is understand UK law. That's the first thing we go through. What is the law on knives? So anyone under the age of 18 isn't allowed to carry a knife in our country, regardless. It needs to be transported to, if they're going to be using a knife, it needs to be transported to and from the location by a responsible adult over the age of 18. But once on the activity or on private land, things like that, you can allow the kids to actually hold a knife, and if you're happy, let them carry a knife around. Like in the Scouts, we let them use their knives, we let them carry around all weekend. At the end of the weekend, we take the knives off them. So that's the sort of thing you need to be wary about transporting. When you're transporting the knives, you need to make sure to follow the law, because you're not allowed to carry knives on your person if there's more than 3 inches. So when you're using the Bushcraft knives, yeah, so some people will have quite some hefty duty knives. They might have little moorers. Yeah, or they might have actual Bushcraft's knife. This is the Bear Grylls Bushcraft knife, which is just over there. Which is, our law is, you can't carry anything more than 3 inches in length, and these are more than 3 inches in length, so they need to be secured safely inside a bag. But as I said there, you can carry knives which are over 3 inches. But again, we also have laws for these as well. So if you're over 18, and you carry a knife which is over 3 inches, which is under 3 inches, it can't be a fixed blade or a locking blade. It has to be a collapsible blade. Yeah, the reason is collapsible blades, you can't use them as stabbing or weapons and things like that, yeah, because they're going to fall on you and things over there. So, but a fixed blade, in the eyes of the law, can be used as a weapon. So things like the sheath knives and survival knives, they're fixed blades. Also, you can get some locking ones where you open them up and have a locking device on them to actually close. You've got to push the catch to close them down. But enough said on that, because in our line, in Bushcraft, having a locking knife or complete sheath is far safer. You're not going to cut your fingers open. So there's a sort of you've got to weigh it up sort of on there. But I've got one in my pocket, which it's a general carry for the army. Yeah, it's a under 3 inches. It's a 2-inch blade knife. And it also has some other things over here. Yeah, so you got the horse hoof, so I'm just to get it over there. And I've also got a bottle opener, a tin opener on the blade as well. So just a little bit of a blade sort of on there, but it's a nice little one. But again, I also carry other type of knife on me as well. If I haven't got that one on me, I've always got my wallet knife, which is quite handy. Again, which comes under UK laws. And all it is a little credit card. Yeah. Little credit card, and to get it out, I've got to undo the little catch, fold it open, bend it round, and then I've got myself a blade. Yeah, but now it's now a fixed blade, so therefore I can't be using it sort of on there. So again, you've got to be a bit careful when carrying things like this, because it now becomes a fixed blade. But it's a collapsible blade, so I can't be using it as a weapon sort of system. And so it just sits inside my wallet, and I can carry it on me all the time. So there's some little blades you can use for different little things, for cutting twine and things like that. So once I talk about different sorts of knives, then we talk about the safe handling of knives. So that's the next part of this lesson. So the knives which I use for kids are generally the Mora safety knife, which is this one here. Come in different coloured candles, so on here, but what makes it really good, that unlike other knives, this is a Halter Force Craftsman knife. Again, it's a bright colour, so just like the Mora. Price, this is about £9.50. This is about £5. Yeah, so price wise a little bit more expensive. Depends how you want to play with them on there. But the Mora knife, if I take it out now, you can see it's blunted on the end. So if I get the Halter Force craft knife out, yeah, you can see the difference on the ends, pointed or non-pointed. So the reason I use a non-pointed one is for safety. When they're doing things, they can't accidentally stab themselves with the knife, so it makes it a little bit safer. And the first thing I do as well to aid them, because they are going to get scared and that sort of thing, is I bring some little rubber gloves along. Yeah, sort of like work gloves. They've got rubber soles. They're not protective as such for cuts and things like that. But if the hands are all sweaty and they're going to get sweaty and sort of they might slip and cause injuries, I get them to wear a pair of these, just because it's a nice little rubber bit on here. So when you've got the rubber on the knife, it gives a bit more grip and they feel a bit more safer when they've got stuff on their hands rather than just flesh. Yeah, so I'd get the kids to wear those as well. Yeah, it just helps them out a little bit and they feel a little bit safer wearing them. But the first exercise I do, I get them to sit in a circle. I talk about the knife, this is the sheath, the Mora. Yeah, and how I say it, how I talk to them there, I say if the Mora writing is upside down to you, when you pull the knife out, the blades could be facing away from you. Yeah, and that's how I want it. So yes, the blade is always away from you, not ever facing towards you. Because when you're facing towards you, it's a bit dangerous. So I get them to hold their hands on the sheath, I get them to grasp their hands on the other side, and then pull it out. Once they've got that, they can look at the blade and get how they're used to it, and then put it away again. I get them to do that a few times. Yeah, so I get them to do that a few times just to get them a little bit more confident actually holding the knife and putting the knife away. So once they've done that, I then move on to some safety in carving itself. We talk about this area here. Depends how old they are. I might refer to the triangle of death. Yeah, because if you're cutting inside your legs and you cut down the femoral artery, it will cause excessive catastrophic bleeding, which will, if you're not plugged properly, can actually cause death on there itself. So we always say never cut inside this area. You always want to cut just to the side of you. Yeah, right-handed, cut on the right side. If you're left-handed, cut on the left side. To get this stuff out of my pocket, my keys. Yeah, so I'm always cutting on the side, either left-handed or right-handed. Yeah, and you're always cutting down away from you, and we try never to cut towards you at this stage. There will be some cuts as you go, as you advance through your knife skills, do come towards you, but for teaching kids and things, I always try to cut away from them, sort of over there. Sometimes if the ground's a bit wet and over there, I might even get them to stand up and cut to the side. So if they're standing up, they're fully away from the stuff. So it's just how you want to play it and in the area you want to try and teach in. So once I've taught them about the knives, the next thing we look at, yeah, so I say that's about that knife, and I say different knives, different things. Yeah, so if I've got this knife, yeah, the blade is actually facing towards me, so you can't always use that rule of thumb. It's just the Mora ones, the blades is actually coming that way. So if you're using a survival knife, yeah, depends how you put it away. It doesn't fit inside that sheath that way. So this is just a British Army survival knife, which I was using a couple of days ago in Scotland. Yeah, so we go through different knives just to show them different ones. Then I might have a little carving knife, so you can see the difference between a carving knife and actually a woodsman's knife. This is just my normal whittling knife. Oh, I can't get in now. And we just talk about the different sorts of knives. So you've got the Bear Grylls, yeah, BG faces away, so when you pull it out, you've got the blade facing away from you. And this one's got the serrated edges, so we can also say as well that sometimes you have serrated edges, sometimes you have just straight blades, just so the kids can see the difference. Yes, because I like to have a difference of knives come around so they can see them and understand different ones. So once I've got the safety sort of thing over there, then we're going to talk about different sort of cuts. And how I teach using the knife for the first time, I don't go straight into using wood, because they're going to think, oh, you've got to put a lot of force in and you put in regards to cutting. As I always explain to them, the best type of knife is the sharp knife. Yes, if you use a blunt knife, you can cause injuries. So all my knives are actually really not razor sharp, but very sharp. Sort of come on. I try not to use razor sharp knives with kids. I just use sharp knives on there. So I keep wood to the side, but the first thing I go and do is give them some sort of hard root vegetable. So today I'm using carrots, or I might use parsnips, sort of on this. So get them used to using an item which they've seen, and when they're finished carving and playing with this, they get to eat it at the same time as well. So it's always a perk. Yes, they always like to have something to take away. So carving. So I get the knives to come out, and then I teach a series of different of cuts. So the first cut I always teach them to do is the push cut. Yes, so I don't have to worry about pushing them down over here. This is where I've got full control, and they've got full control of the knife itself. We're using the thumb on the back of the blade of one hand, yeah, and then pushing it with the thumb on the other hand. Yeah, so you're holding the blade, holding the fruit, keep the fingers out of the way, and then what I'm doing, yeah, is getting them just to practice, yeah, just pushing the blade over, just so they can see how sharp it actually is. You can see here I'm just gliding through the vegetable. Yeah, nice and easy. Yeah, it's sort of on here. I come forward in this way, so it's just nice and easy, just gliding myself through. Yeah, and I try not to go to the end. I just say just get used to using the knife so they can see how it's working. Yeah, and they can see how sharp it actually is. Yeah, sort of coming over. Yeah, and I call them that's the push cut. Yeah, it's a nice, easy, controlled blade, and all I do is just slowly get them to push, yeah, to see if they can carve a little bit of a point to the end of the knife itself. Yeah, nice and simple. Then after I've done that, I might get them to do, yeah, which I call it the push. So that's the thumb push, yeah, the push cut, or I call this one like the bow, yeah, the bow cut. There might be other things, a draw, yeah, draw when you bring it towards you. But this is why I now get them to, with the carrot, onto their side, yeah, and then get them to just push down, yeah, slicing all the way down, yeah, on the carrot itself. Yeah, keeping their hands fully away from the carrot any one time. This just makes it nice and easy. Cuts all the way down itself. And these are basically the two cuts I use when doing it with the kids. Yeah, so I've got my thumbs, my little thumb one, and then my arm push, yeah, on there itself. So they're the ones I use, sort of coming over, and I tell them the importance of keeping the knives clean when they're finished it, so over there itself. What I generally get them to do for safety sort of things, get them to take the knife, take the back of the glove and just wipe the back of the knife before they place it away into the sheath. Ooh, carrot, look. Feed the animals, feed the duck, shall we? Right, so that's that side of it. So once I've gone through some vegetables, sort of over there, I then move on to the next lesson of actually putting some of those skills into practice with wood carving. And what I get them to make is some Norwegian trolls. Yeah, so I've got some trolls here. I've got 3 trolls, I do believe, yeah, which I've done in my groups. And all they are is using the cuts. I also introduce a stop cut at the same time as well. I don't do stop cuts with the vegetables because the knives are too sharp. This goes straight through and it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Yeah, so when we do this, these are the Norwegian trolls. And you can see here, yeah, so you've got the practicing the push cuts on the top, and then we've got the stop cut which we're going to put just in there, and then we can draw a little face on it. So we've got that one there, another little one there, and another little one there. And also with this as well, it gives them another skill, because when we finish cutting the wood down, we can then use a saw or an axe, depends on what you're using that day to do things. I put an axe with me today, I couldn't actually locate my saw. Yeah, so all I'd do, I'd get a branch, some nice fairly long. I try to get it sort of quite long so I do small groups of about 4 or 5 kids at any one time. So if I've got a big stick, I can use multiple. They can just keep doing it as I go through. So I've got my stick here, and all I'm gonna do first is get them just to carve me the very simple one at the very top. So get it over here, get it to the side, because it's wood now, so it's going to be a little bit harder. Yeah, on there itself. Can we see that on that camera? Yeah, and all I'm going to do is turn this into a point. Yeah, so I'm turning it over, pushing, move my arm down. Not too much of a point. Yeah, like a dull pencil. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, so if they're not happy with that, you can also get, if you really want to, you can get to remove from the bark. Yeah, so if you want, you can get to move the bark around it. But generally, I just get them to do the point there, so they can get used to doing that. Next thing we need to do is teach them about battening. Yeah, so we've got the knife sort of over here. Now we want to teach them about actually making a stop cut and doing a little bit of battening. Just realised I don't have another piece of wood, so I'm just going to get my axe and lob off the bottom of this piece of wood. Got no hard surface around here either. Can I do it here? Let's have a look. Probably about here. Oop, here we go. That's off. A lot easier with a hard surface. Yeah, so I teach them a little bit about battening as well. That you don't always have to use an axe to do things. If you've got a knife with a full tang, or sometimes a half tang, you can get a way of doing a little bit of hitting the wood down, yeah, battening the wood to split some of the wood. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to batten this wood a little bit, just so we can get a stop cut, which is just roughly sort of 2 inches down. So you want to make a face, yeah, sort of on there. So I'm going to put my stop cut right about here. I'm going to get my knife. Yeah, and you want them to go at least halfway in. This is very, very soft wood. It's quite green as well, which is quite easy to deal with. So I made my stop cut, which is just, I don't know, can you see that? Can you see that on this camera? There we go. Yeah. So I've got my little stop cut, which is just in there, a little bit further down from the thing. And all I'm going to do now is going to do the push cuts. Right, so once we've now got our little batten sort of on there, now we're going to get our knife back, and actually for the second phase of this Norwegian troll, this is now where the first cuts sort of come into it itself. This is where I want to be a bit more timely and a bit more careful how I do it. Yeah, so this is where I use my thumbs, yeah, and I'm pushing it down now, and I'm using my thumb push, yeah, and I'm carving out a little face, because you don't want to be pushing too much force into this. Yeah, and all I'm teaching them doing, I go down with my thumbs, and then I push down on the stop cut just to take out the little bit of wood, yeah, it's sort of coming on here. So I come a bit closer to the camera. Yeah, so as I'm doing it, I'm pushing down on my thumbs, get a little curl, pushing down, and I take that curl off. Yeah, so pushing down with my thumbs to the stop, pushing down, and all it's done, I've just carved a little bit of a notch, yeah, sort of on there. Once I've done that, the next phase of this is using a saw or an axe of anything they've got sort of on there. So I'm going to use my axe again. I've now got a bit of a harder surface to hit on, so I'm just going to get my axe, put that over there on the hard surface, and when you make sure when you're doing the axe, and they do it away from them. Yeah, you can't see me sort of on the camera itself. I am fully away. Nice, keep the fingers away. That's gone somewhere. I don't know where it went, so I'll find it very shortly. I think it went behind me somewhere. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, so if it little bit messy on the bottom, because if I was at schools and that sort of thing, I'll be having a proper chopping block and it made a smoother cut. See, this is the one I cut on the way down here, nice and smooth, yeah, sort of on the tree. And then get with a Sharpie or any sort of pen, you can just do little two eyes, little nose, little mouth, maybe do a little bit of little pattern, I don't know, just a little pattern around here. And what you could do, you could get them to make some chess pieces. Yeah, you can always colour them in different colours. There we go. So as I now see there, I've now got myself a little Norwegian troll, and it's a little stop cut, some push cuts with a thumb, and some push cuts on the front of it over there. And again, they can take this away. It's something for them to take away, which is really, really happy for them to do. And this is the first introduction into carving itself. So that's it. So I'll just let the camera focus. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, or for this little video here. So it's all about knife safety. Once they're happy with these knives, you can then move on to having, I've lost it now. You can move on and allow us to start using these sort of knives, because as we all know, that as you go through, sometimes you need the points, actually go make different objects and that sort of thing as well. You can do different objects. So the next one I'll be talking about is some basic knife skills in making tent pegs, for the next sort of video in the knife sort of section. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction into knife making, into safety with knives. I just thought it'd be something nice, little easy and to come across. Walaikum salam. Just remember, it's better to be one with the wilderness than to fight and struggle. Till next video, thank you very much. See you later. Bye for now.